Hey everyone, and welcome to the 2014 European Challenger Series, brought to you thanks in part to our friends at Coca-Cola. I'm David FLICKR. Alongside me is the Doombot Deathbringer, Aiden Zyrie Moon. Don't you have to be in the game to win?
I know. I had the highest kill participation in that game, too.
That's good.
And I'm still lower than GallioBot in MVP votes. Did
you have the highest death participation, too?
I think Riv did.
Riv did. Okay, that's fine. You guys can do that stuff. I, meanwhile, had the most kills, so I'm the best. Today is our last quarterfinal matchup of the Summer 2 tournament, and it's between the 3rd seed Gamers 2 and 6th seed Playing Ducks.
Yeah, Gamers 2 is, of course, former SK Gaming mid laner Ocelot's team. As their seed would suggest, they took 3rd place in Summer 1 and have already clinched a playoff spot. From top to bottom, they're very good, but have a new support in Rydal, who will be replacing Dude.
Yeah, we'll see if that bot lane synergy is any good in this team, though. Throughout the Summer 1 quarterfinals, Dude combined with AD carry Yuki to form a truly legendary bot lane. The pair had a 96 KDA up until they faced the Ninjas in Pajamas in the semifinals. That rating then plummeted really fast. But if anything, G2 is looking to pay that pain forward to a statistically impressive Playing Ducks today.
Yeah, and Playing Ducks look really impressive right now. They have only given up 6 deaths in 2 games so far, but they're finally facing a challenge against Gamers 2 today. In fact, this is a rematch game between these two teams who faced off in the Summer 1 quarterfinals.
And of course, that's a game that Gamers 2 did win. Now, back then, Chateau Marteau was the name of Playing Ducks, but they didn't win a single game against G2. They were eliminated in the round of 8, and as you mentioned, only 6 deaths total for Playing Ducks. Well, they only got 6 kills total. They died 32 times when they played G2, so it was a rough best of 3.
Yeah, in that series, Gamers 2, AD carry Yuki, who's still on the team, but with a different sport, he had a 22 KDA against them in the bot lane, and he did not suffer a single death. If Playing Ducks expect to win today, they're going to need to start by shutting down that new partnership of Yuki and Rydal.
We'll see if they can do that. Now, of course, for those of you who are hoping for some visual assets for this tournament, you're in luck, actually. Here's a snapshot of the Summer 2 tournament as it stands right now. Last week, H2K Gaming advanced to the semifinals 2-0 over GG Call Nash. They're going to face SK Gaming Prime, who also swept their opponents Forever Sensig yesterday.
And all the way on the other side of the bracket, it's Ninjas in Pajamas, as also they also advanced due to a semifinal 2-0 over Unicorns of Love. And NIP will face the winner of today's match between Gamers 2 and Playing Ducks.
And now in the Challenger Series, whenever you win, you earn points. And at the end of the Summer 2 tournament, the teams with the 6 highest point totals will qualify for the playoffs. Right now, 5 of the 6 spots are actually spoken for. H2K Gaming, Ninjas in Pajamas, SK Gaming Prime, Gamers 2, and Loveland Shore all have spots clinched.
There is only 1 spot left, and Playing Ducks and Unicorns of Love both want it. If the Ducks win today, they're in. But if they lose, they'll have to face Unicorns of Love in a single-game elimination match for that final playoff spot.
And so to keep up on all the Challenger action leading into the playoffs, log on to lolesports.com.
Under the Leagues and Tournaments tab, you'll find scores, schedules, and everything else you need to follow the Challenger Series and the LCS for the rest of the 2014 season.
So now it's time for today's best of 3 matchup. It's about ready to go. Gamers 2 facing off against Playing Ducks, as we mentioned, G2's Ocelot's new team.
Yeah, Ocelot had the most kills in Summer Series 1 for us at 39. Really, really high up there. He did play all 9 games and had a fantastic scoreline all throughout.
He's done pretty well for himself. Meanwhile, the big guy for Playing Ducks is Chantal. Their AD carry is 12-0 and 13 so far in Summer 2.
Yeah, 25 KDA in Summer 2. Really, really big. They're actually deathless right now in that bottom lane. So they're kind of mirroring Yuki and Dude's performance from last Summer Series. Question is, can they do better than the last time they met Yuki?
That's true. That's true. It was a pretty rough matchup for themselves. So we have to then talk about the new guy in Gamers 2, Rydal. He's replacing Dude. 625 and 82 was the overall score for them at the very end of it all.
Yeah, Dude dropped his KDA a lot after those NIP games.
Yeah.
It was a really rough time. Really rough time. But having Rydal on the roster, question is how much time has he had to synergize with Yuki, and are they a better duo because of it?
I mean, maybe. That's really the difficulty.
It was a really good duo bottom lane.
Yeah, and in general, I haven't seen, for what it's worth, though, I haven't seen roster swaps really cripple teams yet.
Yes.
Right? Like, H2K switched the roster around a little bit in Summer 1, and hey, they won in the finals. NIP still look very good with their new roster. Alex just goes back to the mid lane. They've been winning games since that's happened as well. So and also I think the big one for me as well is when Kikis came in for SK Prime. Like they looked really good with him as well. And honestly, I haven't seen a team get crushed by roster swaps yet. So my hopes are still high for G2. And as we talked about, they won last time.
Yeah, and that was actually the second roster swap too. They had Broken Shard for a bit.
Right.
And then they brought in Kikis, and they both looked like improvements every time, or changed the team in a positive way.
Absolutely. But we're going to see now if these guys actually are going to hold up to that, and if their rosters are going to do well for themselves. First picks and bans getting started up in G2. On the blue side is the higher seed. No big surprise for them. JWoww, top laner. We kind of know him as playing the carry tops. Aurelia, generally going to be a popular one for him.
Yeah, see what he goes with that carry. He likes Shyvana, he likes Aurelia, he likes to duel people. Jack's not as popular anymore. People are kind of going more towards the Gragas more than anything now.
True. That is kind of the big one to look for. And also, we talk about champion pools a little bit. You made the observation as we were driving over here today that all the Nidalee players are playing Xerath now. Like, we're seeing Xerath be super popular, and people finally realize poke comps are still good. So Xerath's the new Nidalee. And so even though Nidalee is actually enabled in the LCS, she's actually still disabled this week in the Challenger Series because we're all still in the quarterfinals, and by the beginning of quarterfinals, we weren't within Nidalee's allowed territory, and to keep the quarterfinals consistent, she's just disabled throughout this week extra. So this is one of the very few times Challenger will be out of sync, sort of patch-wise or rules-wise than LCS, but we won't see her till the semis next week.
No Nidalee, no Shen.
No Nidalee, no Shen.
Currently. They will be enabled semifinals, and big thing here is, as the weeks have progressed, people have been picking up new champions in the mid lane, trying to adapt, because champions just keep getting picked from it. It's like Gragas is out, Nidalee's out. What can we find? Xerath is in. TF came back in. Fizz comes in because of that, and is the counter, and people are like, all right, we got to play Fizz. Now what counters Fizz? What's good against that?
Sure.
What holds up against these champions? So you kind of create a whole new paradigm in the mid lane, depending on your bans and what gets picked, because people are banning out those priority mid laners like Twisted Fate and Orianna.
Sure. Yeah, and when you got the guys, even like Lulu, who were popular as well, even though they didn't go anywhere, well, they actually went top lane.
Yeah, and then you're like, what's good there?
Yeah, right, and that's a whole new set of champs as well, and I want to kind of keep seeing how they turn these all around. The Cassidy ban against Osset, though, no big surprise. Morden's Lee Sin is a really not shocker as well. His Lee Sin is freaking scary. Rydell not going to get Braum here, but everything else left open. And Shantel will get Jinx, which is also no big surprise.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, the Gragas insta-locked in.
Yeah.
Makes complete sense there. One of the best top laners. Lulu will most likely be locked in for Prothana as somebody who can hold his own in that top lane.
That's true. And honestly, you were mentioning this as well as we were getting ready for the games today. On paper, playing Ducks is a theoretically stronger team as far as solo queue results are concerned. Pretty much down the line, aside from in the jungle matchup, you've generally got a higher solo queue score. You've got 3 players in Challenger here on playing Ducks, mid laner, AD carry, and support. Whereas, like, I mean, to be fair, it's like D190 LP, but like as far as solo queue is concerned, like these are players that actually hold up very closely, and so we do see games sometimes won just on individual skill. If a bot lane matchup just wins outright, you're like, well, sorry, but you've given up 5 kills, is over. And it's something to definitely keep in mind.
Yeah, last time was a nightmare, though, for Shantou and Sazed versus Yuki and D.
Yeah.
Now, Yuki and Rydell, got to see how they hold up, and if they can take down Shantou and Sazed. Because Shantou is usually the linchpin of this team, and he loves to either bully the lane or play Jinx and get into this hyper-scaling late game. They banned out the Jinx. That's going to force him onto the Lucian, which was one of Yuki's go-to picks all throughout the season. He might fall back onto Caitlyn, which was his second go-to, and he also has things like Twitch in his champion pool, but have since lost in popularity. So they might go with something like a hyper carry.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's going to try to match the aggression in lane now of Shantou.
Well, he's going to go for the hyper carry, though. And in fact, with Thresh plus Lucian grab that, of course, playing Ducks have such a strong bottom lane, they could just carry out of that lane by killing everyone. And Yuki's going to risk it. He's going to go for the Kog'Maw. And, I mean, you've got to be a bit concerned, but if you get, some good Morgana play from Rydell or something, then maybe he stays safe.
Yeah, it's really strange in the bottom lane right now. One team will pick something hyper-aggressive, and the other team's like, well, you picked Lucian, I can't really match your aggression, so I have to go complete polar opposite of that and just pick a different win condition. I will scale better than you now.
Yeah.
So I go Kog'Maw, I go Tristana, I do something else. I don't try to match you with Caitlyn or Twitch right now.
Yeah. And personally, I actually really like Jinx as the matching AD carry in that case because you can outrange for a while just with rockets and like withstand the harassment because they can't get in on you. Of course, not the case here. Jinx banned away. Aurelia comes in for Prothana. We see a lot of Aurelia vs Gragas matchups in the EU Challenger Series. We're going to see another one here today, as well as the Evelynn jungle here for Satan.
Evelynn jungle. This is just a very early game team with not a lot of scaling, but they got Aurelia for a little bit of an insurance plan in the top lane. Yep. Aurelia versus Gragas is a matchup that we saw yesterday being avoided until around the mid game, and then Aurelia started running away with it.
Yeah, And yeah, early game facing Ragnars's Rally is going to be pretty difficult. Getting your sustain up there, getting the MR per level coming in even just from base stats, actually a pretty effective or pretty useful part of the matchup, I guess. G2 got to make the last few choices, though they need a mid laner and a support. Morgana would be my big expectation. It is. And Syndra mid lane blind pick here for Ocelot, so that's going to be the choice here.
It's a very safe laner. There isn't a whole lot that can get to it that's currently in the meta that would really bully Syndra out of lane. She's very dominant, and the fact that you have an Elise on the backside is a lot of gank assistance.
Yeah, well, there's one matchup we see a lot, which is Ryze, for whatever reason. People seem to keep bringing that champion up. I actually personally would really like Fizz, because you can outplay Oliver CC, especially because one of the core item sets, at least last time he was really popular, was Zhonya's second. So you can Playful Trickster the stun, and you can Zhonya's the ulti, and you're pretty much unmess-withable, because all of Syndra's abilities are telegraphed. So if you're anything tricky, you can actually dodge all of her damage.
That's true. A lot of it is susceptible to those invulnerability frames or untargetable.
Yeah.
I think that the Morgana pick is completely fine alongside the Elise. Yep.
I didn't even look at his champion pool. I was just like, personally, as a guy who plays mid occasionally, like, Fizz is a great champ for this. So I'm happy to see the Fizz come out. And you mentioned, of course, Fizz coming up as well. This has been rumored for a while that it was going to happen, but with the Athene's on Holy Grail nerfs dropping it to, I believe it's 25 from 40 magic resist, that all the AP assassins are going to be better because there's 15 less MR in your face for most of the time. Some players would adapt by running magic resist glyphs when they wouldn't have normally. A lot of guys have gone to AP per level, and so you can bridge some of that gap, but the Fizz melee is going to come through against Ocelot.
And overall, I love that pick because you can catch the Syndra very easily. Her escape mechanic is actually very avoidable. Dodge the stun, like you said.
Yeah.
Zhonya's is later on in the game. You'll be able to avoid that damage. But in the meantime, you're pretty damn safe. There's a lot of pressure here, and a roaming Fizz is something that you cannot underestimate.
Oh, no, God. Like, Fizzes are freaking scary. And if you guys remember the old NIP with Nuke Duck on it, which is, a team that did extremely well overall, ended up being the most feared team in the Challenger Series. They got last picked, basically, by Millennium back in the promo tournament. One of the big sets, or one of the big strategies for that team was give Nuke Duck a split pusher, someone who cannot be out-dueled like Zed or Fizz, and just go to a side lane. And, and it's funny because when you see top laners fight each other in the split push, and it's like, we saw it really recently with Gragas versus Aatrox and Fnatic versus Gambit. Soaz could go up to the turret, but then get wave cleared on, and you'd have to back out again. But with someone like Fizz, you just dive for the Gragas and then hop out, and he's like, I gotta go heal, and you get time to place the turret down. So it gets around the fact that he's not gonna have TP because he can actually make headway in the split push.
Ooh, and Ocelot actually taking Exhaust to counter a little bit of the damage there.
It's a great idea.
It's a fantastic idea. And looking at the compositions and the overall, there's a lot of pick potential here for Gamers 2. Syndra, Elise, Morgana, ton of stuns. You can actually chain combo them together.
Oh, yeah.
Yuki's going to have some peel form and protection with the Black Shield, and everybody else is going to be able to get stunned up, rooted, and JWoww can do some zoning. Can use his barrel to disperse. Then we swap over to playing Ducks, and they have kind of this composition that has early game aggression, but then scaling in some of the solo lanes. So this is a team that's like, we're going to be focused on either getting our solo laners ahead in the early game, or we're just going to snowball bottom and leave them to scale. This is not, neither of these teams really look like a dragon control-oriented team.
Oh.
Some pressure from Evelyn, but nope, vision denied.
Okay, so we're going to have to see then how these early game stuff does pan out because, as you mentioned, a lot of interesting matchups here. Early wards actually have already gone down to the bottom side for both these teams here. The red buff ward, Gamers 2 already knows about it. Playing Ducks just simply have one of their own.
Well, JWoww has a sweeper, so he might actually walk up and just sweep this.
Yeah, that's what he's coming down for. I would assume. Yep, there he is, finds it. So Gamers 2 have now actually removed 2 of the wards here. You can see there's so little vision here by playing Ducks. They've used all their sweepers. They're just watching invades in various sides of the map. But that only is at a 20 gold lead. So massive for Gamers 2. But yeah, it's going to be them with very little information. If neither lane looks like it leashes, you don't know where Morden starts.
Morden's going to be a huge influencing factor on all of these lanes. There's a lot of scaling here for playing Ducks that they need to start getting into that mid game, or they can focus on this bottom lane, which already has a little bit of a dominant position, but it is Thresh versus Morgana, and it's a little skill-based and timing-based on this.
It's really, a lot of it is the very first minion wave right here, because as soon as you get your wave pushed out, they've got to respect you, and because you've got such good pressure from range like this, like that binding into auto attack. They can get some decent damage. Oh my gosh, Rydell stayed too long. That was actually really bad.
It's a miscommunication.
After you bind as Morgana, never auto attack. Because you have nothing to present. You don't do anything aside from like 30 damage on a hit, and you just let yourself get attacked.
Yeah, and Yuki had used his Fire Arcane Barrage, so he didn't have it available. Exactly. Had about 3 seconds left on it, so the trade was not in their favor at the time.
Yeah, that was one of those cases where you bind and you can't follow up because Sazed can do much more to you. But now level 2 actually comes through for both sides.
Oh,
nice move by Sazed! Finds Yuki, Exhaust is down, they dash on in. A lot of health lost there, no summoners left on Kog'Maw.
Wow. Rydell using the Black Shield on the wrong person, but it was a very good fake out by Sazed. He was facing Rydell and threw the hook to Yuki. So great juke there, but man, there's a little preemptive.
Yeah. Now Rydell's bindings have been awesome.
They have been.
He's hit 2 of the 3 I've seen so far, which is a ludicrously high rate for laning phase. Problem is, yeah, that one fake up by Sazed just got them a bunch of bonus experience over Kog'Maw.
Here's the thing though, is when you're in competitive play at this high of a level, you have to use your bindings in a very conservative way. Do not use them unless you can actually make a trade, because it's kind of like a thresh hook. You don't always throw your thresh hook just to throw it. You throw it at opportune times to get the pressure that you need or to bait a shield.
Good shield by Rydell right there. And yeah, it's the weird thing where it's like you get like this tiny little bit of harass occasionally with it. But Rydell right now, as long as he keeps his mana pool safe, I think all he really needs to have is the Black Shield up, because you just don't have any offensive moves anyway. So just looking for like a little bit of poke is, I think, reasonable. Ocelot actually has a very big freeze against Avenue. And Avenue's already down in CS here, so this could be a very rough situation for the Fizz. They spot Morden. This is a very good ward. I like that one a lot, actually. Spots Morden going for the counter jungle. Or at least just the ward coverage. And you see him leave.
Good part of that ward is you can't really sneak around it if you want to get into the river. So many people put a ward that's kind of misplaced. He could have gone all the way up and hugged it, because if you would put that in more towards your side of the river, you wouldn't have seen him. Yeah, it's a really good choice. It's a very, very smart ward. I love it a lot. And that's Avenue's ward right there. Satane's is down. Morden looks for the top lane. They do know he went top side, though. Prothana, if he's smart, will not look for any kind of engage right here. I don't think he would either, considering he's Aurelion, he has no ganks around him. Sure. Satane's going to look bottom, the complete opposite side. I think there's no good hooks here. The only person's hookable is Rydell, and he's been known to have fast. Yeah, there it is. Nice from the Fog of War. Black Shield comes on afterwards, which means there's not much to follow up with. They finally break the Black Shield, then the Flay comes out. One hit from dead. Shantel can't quite close in. Perfectly played by playing Dux, but Rydell just a little bit too durable. Yeah, Rydell's going to have to flash out of that one, and there's no summoner spells used on the side of playing Dux. Very conservative in that regard. Just going to wave clear and keep his gold income as best he can. Misses a couple, actually. Yeah. It's the one right there. You can see a 10 minion lead right now. Ocelot is doing well against Avenue, and he's very rarely been pushed up to allow that Evelynn gank. So Ocelot playing this lane very well. Yeah, and as soon as he saw the Evelynn bottom, he knew he could clear and try to reset the lane. Good presence of mind, good map awareness. I like this from Morden. Morden's sensing, like he's sniffing out a gank by Satane because Ocelot's suddenly pushing now, and they can't see Satane. They're like, you know, he's likely to come down to the mid lane now that Ocelot's available, now that Fizz level 5 has Ignite. Morden says, okay, it hasn't happened yet, I'll clear a camp, but he's probably going to stick around this mid lane. It's really the lane he's got to put the most attention on right now, because Ocelot has a bit of a lead, and as a jungler, it kind of baits you into it. When your lane's having a hard time, you can imagine the communication is, come help me. Yeah. Help me, I need to back. Something along those lines. But Ocelot pushes it out, gets 6, and he's going to back and buy his first items. He's going to have at least Charles, maybe an Amp Tome. I would be surprised to see him not go with the instant match. Actually, he stays for one more wave, so never mind. He's going to go a little bit later on this one. Shantou, 44 to 34 minions of Yuki. So far, this bot lane is pretty good. This guy's doing a lot better than last time around when they fought Gamers too. Yeah, Shantou with the early aggression alongside Sazed, doing work right now against Yuki and Rydell, who got to question how much time they've had to synergize, because they look good as individual players. It just, the combination in that duo lane right now is still a little lacking. Just off the first 6 minutes of this game, you can kind of tell. Yeah, absolutely, and it's going to be, the difficulty there is if they can get themselves together either throughout time, because we talked about, Gamers 2 have actually secured their spot in the postseason, but if you don't win any games there, you're not going to the promo tournament. So even if this game doesn't matter for reaching the postseason, it does matter for seeding. Getting a bye would be nice if they can win the whole thing. But otherwise, yeah, either way, like in the context of them as a team, they've got to get that synergy working a bit better. We see a couple of wards come out from Morden. Once again, that Wraith camp is
This is what I like about warding the Wraith camp. One, it's really easy to reach. It's the easiest to reach camp to ward, but also it's Evelyn's favorite camp because it dies so darn fast. That, like, you're guaranteed to see her a lot of the time by doing this. So right there, Satan gonna not do the camp. He knows it's actually warded. He saw them put it down.
It's pink ward here too, though.
If he hugs the wall, he doesn't get seen.
And
Yep.
Not seen.
And the thing is, they don't know. I mean, the thing is, he can sneak in from the mid lane as well. Like, there's a lot of ways to sneak into that brush. And plus, like, there's no wards bottom side as well. So it's not like Ocelot can guarantee there's no Evelyn. But he does not overextend right here, and looks like no gank going to happen yet for Satan.
Yeah, Avenue would have to land a fish.
Oh, Avenue's trying to force him to the left-hand side. Fish is going to land. Ocelot's going to get ulted there as well. Exhaust goes down to Fizz, but he's taking too much damage. Yes, he is. First blood goes through. Nicely played playing Dux. JWoww and Morden show up, though. Satan's got to be careful. His flash is down, meaning he is going to die, and the trade kill comes back. Morden claims that one, and looks like Avenue gets to safety.
TP from JWoww right in time to help get the counter kill there. They end up getting 2 assists off the back of it. And the red buff, but look at that. Avenue.
He actually is like, yeah, I'll fight you. Nothing to lose. He's going to hop over the wall.
Except for his HP.
Whatever. He's going to recall. He just got to kill. There's, like, at that point, you definitely buy and you go towards your...
Yeah.
I think it's Sheen. I don't think DFG first is the build for Fizz, but yeah, okay, cool. It is going to be the Lich Bane start. I've seen a lot of different builds, but I think the old school of Lich Bane Zonas is still the build most people go for. The interesting back time is though on the bottom lane. Because you have Phage on one side versus Pickaxe Dorn on the other. Those are pretty similar cost-wise, to be fair. I'm just surprised that Shantou didn't get a bigger item lead off a 20 CS advantage bottom lane. Like, that's like where you BF sword back, you know? Like, you wait until you have a 50 AD item to go and be like, I dare you to lane against me now.
Speaking of laning against him, Yuki took the blue buff.
That was nice.
While all of that was happening, Satan having to clean up the little scraps.
That's actually going to be really a lot of pressure here because there's not a lot of sustain there. Relic Shield by itself with not a lot of HP 5 back to the team. And Double Dorns is some lifesteal. It's actually like, decent, but you can eventually get worn down by Morgana Cog.
Yeah, this is a really big, because Cog has really good mana cost or high mana cost on his R. The Living Artillery, and you stack it up, and you want to use it to harass.
Yeah.
Be able to constantly use it now.
1 every 15 seconds going to be pretty cheap. Saze gets binded up. Rydal lands one of those as well. Ulti comes out. Saze goes to his turret, but has nowhere to go. Hooks in Morden. That could be a trade kill. Forced to repel away.
To take it for him.
And Rydal's going to do so. Beautiful right there by Gamers too. Getting the kill and getting out. Looks like he's not done though. Teleport is up for Prothana, but he didn't even try to show up.
No, he's too busy dueling in the top lane on JWoww. But at the same time, he's down 17 CS at this moment. Pink Ward's going to be able to spot him out. It's going to be clear.
I like the defensive Pink Ward right there. You check a lot of the Evelyn flanks, and it guarantees Elise can come through whenever she wants. So Gamers too do pull in a gold lead with that kill. Very, very nicely played. Rydal's bindings, again, have been on point. Dragon, though, playing decks think they can sneak this one in.
Yeah. They saw Morden was about half HP, the bottom lane, in a situation where they don't want to duel. They've used a lot of their ultimates. Now going to have to give this up.
Yeah, they pull Avenue down as well. And look at that, playing Dux. Beautiful stuff right here. Sneak in the Dragon. They get the gold lead back, and that's going to really help salvage the fact that top lane's losing by 20 and mid lane's losing by 30.
Yeah, and at the same time, though, Shantou, he's doing well for himself, and Shantou is typically the linchpin of this team. It was Shantou knocked WoW for a reason when back in their old days in Summer Series 1. He was the carry. He was the person they looked to. Avenue is their rock, and he's very consistent in the late game, but it's usually off of Shantou that they get their victories, considering his 25 KDA.
Yeah, that's a large number. It's no 96 like the Gamers 2 old bot lane right here.
True. Their current KDA in the bot lane combined.
It's 2. Well, on this.
On
it's
this
Summer
one, yes.
Sorry, I know it's trolly, but...
Swap it over to Shantou and Sazed, though. They have a 29 on Sazed and a 25 on Shantou.
Yeah.
So they're sitting at 54, but it's divided by 1 now. Because they was deathless before. It's the first death of the bottom lane. It's on to Sazed.
Still, in the 50s.
Yep.
Pretty good number to be at right here. See if they can keep this one going up. Ocelot is staying in this mid lane. We've actually not seen many moves out of lane for either mid laner.
Yeah, and these are both actually roam-oriented champions and assassins. Either they duel each other and get some gank assistance to try to just blow the other one up, or they go and roam. And the worst part about their roams is, we'll get to that in a second. But
ooh, gets the cocoon, gets a bunch of damage. Ooh. The knockback isn't going to pull Prothana in. He's already flashed away as Aurelia, but that is still a summoner lost and a lot of damage.
Knocked away. He has his teleport, so he can TP back to the lane. And like I was saying with these mid laners here, the biggest thing about their roam is if you don't have ward coverage of the side that they ward to, they can half roam, end up in the bush, and then just try to blow you up from the Fog of War in a full combo from somebody like Syndra, or pretty much guaranteed Shark and a follow-up. So that's the scary part of being a mid laner in this matchup, is you're very squishy, and if you don't have that coverage, you will just die.
Yeah, I'm actually very impressed that Ocelot's doing so well in a lane where like at any time you can just be killed. Like, just out of nowhere, Evelynn shows up and a shark comes at you from across the screen. And you're just like, well, my life is pain. And so far...
Dodge the shark. Dodge the fish.
Well, he didn't dodge it the first time, but Ocelot is still holding a almost 40 minion lead here in the mid lane. Bind comes out, hits Avenue. They could do so much damage here.
Oh!
Yeah, you shouldn't ult that one, but the QE was good.
A lot of damage there. They have the follow-up on the sides.
Hook comes in, 3-on-3, in towards Ocelot they go. The exhaust is down, though, and Ocelot gets out. Nice stun on a Satane. Not good for the Evelynn, and she's going to flash away and stay alive.
Prothana's coming in here, but JWoww's the TP.
Okay, looks like it's a teleport burn just for the walking, though. No kills come through. A lot of summoners burn, nothing else gained.
Very, very low HP on both Satane and Avenue. They're both going to have to back and recharge, but Avenue's not having any of that just yet.
Well, this mid lane, though, does take a lot of damage. So Avenue, of course, has to be so afraid as a melee champion. With Satane gone, they're going to stay safe. That turret goes down. Shantou, bit of a fight against Yuki there. They're trading ults back and forth. The artillery, though, really starting to make some headway. Q doesn't quite land. Oof. Okay, out of mana. He's safe. They're fine. They're fine. But I do have to point out the items that changed around there, because Shantou finally got his BF sword to Yuki's Zeal, which means this one-on-one, it's like that kind of stuff's going to keep happening. Yuki's got to be real careful.
Here come the supports. Morgana's a little far. Thresh is on the backside, but Evelynn's collapsing too.
All right, Voidal and Sage kind of trading blows for now. There comes the Lantern. Doesn't really get much. Whatever. Golden for Royal.
Yep. No hook out to bait the Black Shield. It's pretty much guaranteed, so he didn't even throw it.
Yeah, why waste the mana?
Satane was seen in the area, but he's still making a repeat visit.
Okay, well, he didn't get seen sneaking into this one, and look at that. Oh, this is dangerous. Okay, they pull Ocelot to hold the team up. But this is a potential dive.
They're asking for assistance here. Satane's going to see that.
Satane sees them and says, don't dive. Don't worry, just buy the time. Sage actually gives away his position with that Lantern. I mean, it could have just been a fake Lantern at the same time, but he had his teammates' best interest in mind. And it's going to give a little bit of time for Avenue to shove the mid lane down. That's actually nice. That ward right there that Satane put down, the fact that he ran around behind the turret, saved them from a really crushing 3-death dive.
I actually want to have a little conversation about Fizz right now.
All right, let's do it.
Because every time I talk to somebody who wants to pick up Fizz, they're always like, what do I max first?
E.
You max E.
You're darn right you do.
It is your utility, your movement, your wave clear tool, and it does an immense amount of damage. Look at that. If he didn't max E, he wouldn't be able to clear the wave, and now he can go do whatever he wants and roam. You don't max Q, you don't max W. They're very appealing options, but it's the E that you want.
Yep.
Then you can do that too.
Yep.
Perfect example. So anybody wanting to play Fizz, perfect key in right there.
There you go. Even a small thing there, you know, he hit the big one once to get the dot from his W passive, then killed the melee guys, and then went back to it. Just saying, little might have saved him an auto attack there at the very end of it all. But
hashtag Fizz mechanics.
Using the dot, all that fun stuff. Looks like it might just be Zazonia's second item. Like I said, you can go DFG, though I think the fact that he's facing an exhaust means the attempt to burst someone out with a Deathfire Grasp is much lower. Also, the fact that Ocelot's going to be able to one-shot him pretty soon.
I feel like the Zonius is the way to go.
You have to.
You will avoid a ton of damage and squish, and Fizz is very squishy.
Look at this lack of wards, though, top lane. Prothana is very alone in a 1v3. Stun comes out, dodges away from the cocoon, but he's got nowhere to go. Kill comes through to JWoww. Nice gank right there. PD have been trying so hard to win the bottom lane with the Thresh Lucian pickup. They haven't spent any effort helping keep Prothana alive.
Yeah, even with the increased tenacity from his passive, he can't stand that. They're going to trade turrets top and bottom. Dragon is up in 8 seconds, though, and Gamers 2 gave up a lot of control of that area. They're going to have to rush down there.
Well, and he's doing that. You can see Morton just beelining down there as fast as he can. Doesn't counter jungle.
It might be gone by the time he gets there.
Well, Playnex are going to try. Can they stop it in time, though? Burst coming through. Teammates still going. This is going to be a 4-on-4 and a hectic one. Prothana's back alive. He can teleport to that ward right there. Here comes JWoww. It's going to go down to the Evelynn, but here comes the fight. Both TPs coming in. 5 5-on-5 hook lands onto Morden. He takes the Shark. Now Rydell's off on the side. He's got to be careful. Avenue going to blow him up. No, Yuki and JWoww are stuck on the wrong side of this fight, and Yuki has almost nowhere to go. He could maybe recall, but Ocelot's also stuck in here. Gamers 2 limp into the fight, and it's a bad one for them.
They were completely split in that fight. They give up the Dragon and 3 members. PD, they can do whatever they want on the map now, group just 5.
And the Fizz pick and the aggressive bottom lane pick has worked so well for them there. Look at this fight again. The TPs come in. The playing decks just crushed them.
They're completely split on this one. I looked at this, I saw the TP in, and I was like, Sayst is doing zone control onto Morden and Ocelot. Yuki and Rydell are left to their own devices here against the rest of the team. They completely section them off. Yuki has to flash away, and he hasn't hit his damage item spikes compared to Shantou, who has combination parts of the Infinity Edge, but that's more than enough.
Yeah, and did friggin' awesome. I mean, that's one of the good things about Lucian, about all these sort of AD ratio caster types, is even if you're waiting for your Infinity Edge to come through, the first 2 items are almost always going to be the BF Sword plus Pickaxe. That's 75 AD. Like, that's most what you had with the old Bloodthirster starts in the first place. So it's not like you're really missing out on too much compared to, you know, 3 or 4 patches ago. And playing Ducks, they are going to be able to stay pretty much okay in the turret game here. The big thing for me with Gamers 2, though, is they just seem so willing to try to help. And overly so.
Yeah, it was a weird call because the Dragon was gone anyway, so there's no way they could have contested and actually got that objective out of it, and they were trying to force the fight, but it was not a fight you should have taken, considering their item disadvantage on the champions that they had.
Yeah. And even just the little things, like Ocelot walked, like, once they were separated, the box came down. You talked about Sayz zoning them out, and that was perfect. I mean, it won them that fight, you know, by and large. Yuki and Rydell got caught, and then Ocelot was like, hold on, I'm gonna walk into this team and die real quick.
Yeah, Ocelot and Morden didn't want to use abilities on the support. Sayz was like, come at me, bro. And he's like, no, I'm not gonna throw them at you. No, I don't want to. He's trying to save his ability for the back line. And it was good zoning there by Sayz.
He played it perfect. Sayz played largely really well this game. Liked his hooks from the brush, from the Fog of War, everything like that. JWoww does not quite land anything here, but he does land a hook onto himself. Gets played back as well. In comes
Avenue on the side on Ocelot.
Avenue on the back line as well. Ocelot's got to be real careful. Shark comes down. Exhaust doesn't do too much to stop him. Actually, Avenue got to be real careful. Stayed too long. Exhaust did do all that they needed. Well done.
Too far into the back line. Too greedy for the Ocelot. Exhaust coming up big, and that's why you take that Summoner spell versus Assassin.
Yep. The thing is, Avenue could have gone Zonies instead of Lichbane, but chose to finish the offensive item after the needlessly large rod, and he paid for it right there. He went for the Payful Trickster, then landed, and had no way to dodge the Syndra ulti, and just blew up from it.
Going for the invade here, trying to get some ward coverage. Yeah, you can't help but think that the Zonias may have been a little better, but he got the needlessly large rod in synergy with Lichbane. In that situation, it may have helped him.
I mean, he wouldn't have died right away. He might have gotten his E back up to get out.
That's true. He didn't also have the backup of his team, though, and didn't realize how many people were there. He kind of just walked by Ocelot and was like, oh!
Yep. And that's the problem with teams and players that play aggressively, is you very rarely ever have perfect information. And a lot of teams will say, well, if we don't know this will work 100%, we won't do it. And that's why you see slow games a lot of the times. Aggressive teams will not know 100%, but they'll go for it anyway. And they'd be like, well, 90% chance you're going to die. Oh, 10% shoot.
Yeah.
Or they'll misestimate entirely, and it's just a bad call. But you almost never get to make decisions with perfect information. And that's why you see things like that happen sometimes.
You make decisions with basic information. Like right there was actually a 5-on-4 because Yuki wasn't there. He was back in the base. If they had information of that, they could have been like, okay, it's a 5-on-4, we should fight them. But
Rydell stole that blue buff, by the way.
There was no call there, and yeah, he takes that one away perfectly.
Avenue's gonna be sad. You gotta leave your Q up for those. Fizz mechanics. Leave your Lichbane Q available.
Barely been getting any blues this game. First, the bottom lane's just stealing them all. Yuki, Rydell.
Yeah. It's actually been pretty rough for Avenue. He's actually only down 30 minions, though. He's had a decent game aside from one overcommit, but 3-1 is a good score. Gamers 2, though, they still feel confident, like they have the lead here. They're the team trying to push and make the plays. Avenue rooted up there by Rydell, not allowed to do anything.
It's also pretty big because you don't build any mana regeneration items on Fizz. You have to start chugging your chalice, or I guess your flask.
Yeah.
You drink from both of those items.
True. You got the Doran's rings. They just kind of rejuvenate his mana pool a little bit.
That's about it. No Athenes, no Morellonomicon for him.
Once again,
starts.
All Alright, well, Shantou, Infinity Edge is done. Zerk Greaves not too far away. I'm actually surprised he went Double Dorans plus Vamp Scepter. I feel like Double Dorans and 1 lifesteal quint's enough to sustain you, and you don't need to spend 800 gold, and you can keep your build going sooner, because you could have like Zerk Greaves and like a Brawler's Gloves right now.
Might be going for the Blade of the Ruined King.
I almost never see Aya Ruined King.
Yeah. Because then you don't get the crit compared to the other attack speed items.
It's just kind of weird. A lot of guys like to sit on Vamp Scepter. It slows you down a little bit. It's not the worst thing in the world. I just think it's slightly inefficient. Ooh, 2-man stun. Seize gets rooted. Ulti goes in on Prothana. Seize actually shielded himself, thinking it was himself as a target, but hey, at least they both live. But Yuki gets some real damage in the turret, and G2 finally find a way to push Playing Ducks back a little bit. Recall's going to come through. Looks like they can earn themselves a turret kill here. Vine only hits a minion there. Avenue's still waiting for his way in. Of course, the exhaust is back from Ocelot.
The wave clear here from both Gragas and Syndra is just applying a ton of pressure to this top lane. So they're going to back off because they don't really have any turret pushing.
With the Syndra ulti down, your team fight's no good. So as soon as they recall and heal, you don't have the... Oh, this is nice. G2 basically faked it back. They're going to get this turret. That was awesome.
It was really good calling there. No vision. They went ahead, swept the area, made sure that it was 100% okay to do this.
This is why you always push an extra wave once you finish defending. I mean, you don't have any ward coverage, but like you can't... Oh, nice try. All right, G2, well earned turret.
Yeah, very tiny advantage there. But at the same time, Dragon's up right now, and all the wards are concentrated on the left side of the map. Nobody has vision of this objective, and Prothana is the first one there. He can kind of just lay his claim to that area.
And he's finally catching up in items as well. Triforce done. He's got the Spectre's Cowl as well, so he can survive Gragas just a little bit better. Avenue going to have an easy wave clear mid on top of this one, so it looks like Playing Ducks can actually get a little bit of minion wave control, which could set up Dragon quite nicely.
And they're going to go straight to it. Satan going to start it up. Yep.
Yeah, this is probably theirs. Yeah. But they know Shantau's far. This is actually... G2 could rush this as a defense and maybe win that fight.
Warden over the wall. He does have a smite. They're going to go for it. They're going to try to engage it.
He gets binded as well. He's got to be real careful. The damage comes through. Picked up there. Nicely done by Morden. Avenue's got no health. Rydell goes in. Can he find the kill with the exhaust? Looks like the case is yes. He goes down. Now Satan in the backside's got nowhere to go as well. 2 kills picked up. G2 get the Dragon and 2 kills here. Shantou was nowhere to be seen in that fight. Flash, stun, everything. Oh my god. Gamers 2. Nice play.
Taking a huge advantage of that Dragon, and they get it for themselves too, and they get 3 kills for 0. They might be looking at Baron right now.
Oh my gosh, they are. They're going to walk into this one. 10 seconds for any of the major respawns there. 2v5. Morden is low on health, but he should be able to heal up pretty nicely. Actually, no, he's got no good way of healing. Ancient Golem, you don't get that much health back right away. Smite's back up, though. Prothana has no major stealing tools. JWoww tanks up this entire thing. The respawns come through, but no one's around.
The hook.
Now this is his. And nicely done. All right, G2 just pick up Dragon, 3 kills, Baron, and top lane tier 2 turret, all in the last 2 minutes. Instead of these guys are in control. This
was really big. The Cocoon binding combo onto Avenue. Can't use Playful Trickster while stunned or bound up. He eventually gets out of it, but then he comes down, he gets exhausted, and completely zoned out by Rydell, to the point where they don't even have to do anything about him, leave him at low HP for a very long time, while everybody else is just taking care of the other members of the team. The big thing here is Ocelot actually saves his ultimate until that moment.
Why not? The rest of them were all picked off on the random sides, and very unfortunate here. Playing Ducks had a pretty decent lead for most of this game, and suddenly G2 found their way back in. Their willingness to fight, it worked out that time. Again, they saw Lucian on the wrong side of the map, knew they had the inside track in a 4v5, and of course a great steal and a great initiation onto Avenue got them that whole fight.
They got split that time. They completely turned around the situation. Gamers 2 was the one splitting Playing Ducks, and their AD carry was off to the left. Couldn't do anything the entire fight, while Avenue and their mid laner just kept getting destroyed.
Yeah.
So JWoww's actually doing a lot of work in these fights alongside Morden. Man, Morden, he's tanky, but he's got a lot of damage in his kit.
A little more Hexbringer popped. All right. 90 seconds on cooldown for that one. And out they go. Bottom lane out are going to be theirs pretty securely. Playing Ducks forced to play defense here. Prothana pushing the top lane is one way back in, though, if he can create enough pressure to stop this team fighting and get those individual picks again from Fizz. The problem is, we just haven't seen Avenue freed up to make plays without facing an exhaust every time.
And he was 3-0, and now he's 3-2. His last 2 deaths, he's just been flopping. JWoww has inside track. He's going to be able to get some damage on this tier 2. Nobody here to respond just yet.
I feel like playing Ducks comms are breaking down. They're like no longer being at the right turrets at the right time, right? Like this turret takes damage even though you can see the minion wave coming in. It's just like they're kind of dropping their awareness of what kind of things are getting pressured. They're trying to defend bottom lane right here. Hook only hits a minion, no big deal. Oh no, Say stays around too long. The binding, good damage comes through, but they don't overstay actually. But I mean, outer and tier 2 turrets are generally free against a Baron buff.
That was a little strange because JWoww was actually looping around the side and had explosive cask available, so he could have continued that fight, but they don't get greedy on it. And they even saw that Prothanos was mid, so he wasn't going to be able to reinforce that fight at the same time JWoww was there.
Yeah, but they chose to play a little bit safer option. Now that they have the lead, they're saying, you know, take less risks with Baron buff. We should be always able to get all the tier 2 turrets. Pretty easy stuff there. JWoww with enough armor to tank this one out, and there we go, 6 turrets. Gamers 2 methodical after the Baron goes down. And they've got themselves a sizable 5,500 gold lead.
The next move for them, they gotta crack the base. They've gotten every outer turret that they can possibly take. Dragon is up in 2 minutes, but you don't want to lollygag around for that long. They're gonna hit some item thresholds here. A lot of wards being purchased in the inventories.
Yeah.
And now they gotta set up. Depends on where they find their opening, because they're going to want to put those deep wards in the jungle. A lot of their wards are currently concentrated on the red side blue buff. Boom. And they already tried to push there.
Yeah, so right, now you have to set up basically, there's only a few wards you need to siege. You basically pink ward flanks because of Satan, and you get wards over the wall to watch for who puts hooks down. So you can look for like bindings to fish for. So you only need a very, very few with that one. Otherwise, you can play the long game, and you basically just pink ward Dragon Baron. There's no reason to green ward at this point. Like, Baron wards would time out at this point, and Dragon wards you don't need that heavily because it dies so fast. And so you only need a very few wards here for Gamers 2, and I want to see where they actually put them.
Yeah, they already have a pink ward on the Baron, watching that area. They have one around the Dragon, and they have some actually in playing Ducks jungle that haven't been cleared out yet.
Right, and that's the thing. Like, if you want to do pink wards for Baron, you need like 3 in their jungle as well, in the northern jungle. Because if they can walk safely up to the Baron pit, then you can't bait it. You just have to like go for it and hope they don't check you in time. If you strangle all the vision in front of Baron, like in the case right here,
they see Satan.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. So no flank available. That was a good pink ward. And the thing is, they don't have all the waves under control either, so it's actually going to take some time for G2 to get mid pushing, to get bot pushing, and then set up their real stranglehold and vision. JWoww looking for the flank, and again, he doesn't have ward control, so he gets picked off by himself. The damage comes through, he dies to the shark, and the fight has begun. Exhaust pops, Prothana gets out, Satan has got to be real careful. He gets out of that fight as well, but now in comes Avenue. Big damage, looks for Rydell, will get that kill. His Zonias is still available, and this is a complete whitewash there. Everybody on G2 is going down. They look for a flank without ward coverage, and Yuki is really about to die right here. How much can playing Ducks pick up? They've got a minion wave right now. That's at least an inhibitor.
And they have very healthy members. Exactly. They're going to get at least an inhibitor off of this. They're going to tank up a little bit of it. But that was a fantastic fight through and through for playing Ducks.
Prothana has to run past that minion wave. He was taking the turret back a little bit too long. That's going to be an inhibitor, and I believe Dragon, and they can heal in time for Baron. Plus, bot lane's pushing out. They could go tier 2, but I think Dragon's better.
Yeah, they have about 10 seconds on it. I want to watch this again. He walks straight over a pink ward.
Stunned first.
Stunned, hooked, almost got bindings on the back of it. The black shield eventually comes out, but by that time, JWoww's already dead. Satan causing a lot of pressure and a lot of blown ultimates on him, as Avenue gets that backline. He gets exhausted, but he still gets Rydell. Ocelot gets taken out by Prothana, and Yuki actually stunned up and kept in the fight long enough so that Shantou can keep him locked down with the red buff, and the perfect Blade Surge resets from Prothana to close the distance. Big part of that was their tank. Their frontliner was just obliterated before the fight truly started.
Yeah.
They blew a lot on him too. They threw the black shield on him, and it could have been useful on somebody else at that point.
Oh, absolutely the case. I gotta say, I'm thinking about that fight though, and like, I completely understand Gamers 2 decision-making there.
Oh yeah,
it's like, hey,
forced.
Instead of playing a siege, instead of playing this weird pick around Baron, let's get a flank. And like, that's a freaking cool idea. I like that. But he walked through a ward and didn't respect the fact that the other team wasn't engaged in a fight. They were all in fog of war, meaning he could just be walking in 1v5 and was.
His team was not responding, or at least in sync with him and his timing of walking into that.
Yeah. G2 wasn't, the rest of G2 wasn't in range to help when he got caught out. You're right.
Or he was too early. He might have walked over the pink ward and been like, I have to go now.
Absolutely the case, absolutely the case. And you're right, a small miscommunication. Dragon, of course, did go to playing Ducks, bringing them back within a 2,000 gold game, but they are still down those 2 turrets in that 2,000 gold. Satane not getting spotted, sees Ocelot. Of course, mid lane inhibitor going to create some pressure. Not a ton, it's a fairly defensible inhibitor, but hook onto Rydal. He actually goes for it though, flays 3 people, Box comes down, finds Morden. JWoww push back, after on the side, no exhaust I believe are up, which means this could be very good for him. There's the Zonia's already popped there, Satane forced to run away, Morden very low on health. The damage coming around won't quite kill him though. And not a lot is actually gained.
Gamers 2, very, very close there to being in a terrible situation, going through the tiny passage of the bottleneck. They all grouped up for that, but it was the right choice because they would have just trailed off and gotten picked off. So they just stuck together so that they couldn't get picked off by the Fizz. They do blow a couple flashes. No, actually they don't. Nobody flashes. They're all down.
All playing Ducks used was ultimates and teleport of Prothana.
It was the ultimates I was thinking of.
Yeah, actually, yeah, almost nothing was used. Because that was a fight. Here's the thing, though. That was a fight where both exhaust on Gamers 2 was down. Avenue basically needs exhaust to be down to be able to one-shot someone, or by losing half his damage, it's just so hard for him to make an impact in that fight. He has to outplay them really severely. The last fight the Playing Dogs won, because of that bad flank, they won the evenest fight to exhaust. That fight, no exhaust, they still couldn't win, is a little bit scary.
Yeah, I was thinking about flashes because I'm like, the next fight that happens, everybody's going to have their flash up. Yeah. Every single person will have their flash available for the next Baron fight, unless it gets engaged, like right now. But you have to set up and prep for it, because nobody can bait it. Everybody's on this side of the map, and nobody wants to force it without those spells.
And here we go. Look at this one, though. Shantou still trying to make the plays top lane. I'm actually surprised his turret hasn't gone down, but Prothana just hasn't been given much time to split push later on in this game. See his minion score kind of suffering because of it. You have a 100 minion lead there, comparing JWoww to Prothana, which is a pretty massive thing, actually. It's a large reason for Gamers 2 actual gold lead here. Yeah. Is just they've been doing a better job killing minions.
A big part of the last fight that happened, we said that JWoww got taken off the field. He was the meat shield, he was the wall. He's also one of the highest gold members on the team for Gamers 2, and when you lose that much income and that much gold in stats before the fight even starts, it's really big in a prolonged fight.
Absolutely is, and you've got to be very aware of how that's going to affect you guys. But right now, Satane is trying to control Western Jungle. They do know that the blue buff is being started. I believe that Trinket Ward might have just seen it. Looks like Satane does not want to show himself, though. Morden and Ocelot know they're safe right here, but this is now a ward they're standing on top of. They know blue buff's been taken. They want control over Baron. Playing Ducks wants that themselves.
It's almost time. Everybody's flash is about to be available. If they can blow some of them before the fight or before the Baron, sets them up for an even cleaner fight from whichever side. Evelyn flank attempting. They see him though.
Pink. Do they have pink wards?
No, they just had somebody far enough up.
Okay. There's a sweeper. There's the pink ward over right there on the top of your screen. That's actually a very important one that right now PD can't clear easily. I don't think Satane can kill that ward faithfully. Too easy to get picked off. It has to be Shantou, and he can just dash back across the ball if someone tries to stop him. Gamers 2 take this time on the inside track to take Baron control. This is actually very good for them. It is hard to get all the wards swept away properly when you only have 3 sweepers in your team.
Shantou is on the complete other side of this fight, though.
He shouldn't be here. This is so risky for him. A flash cocoon cross and he dies.
Flash cocoon, flash, just stun anything would be able to take him out at that point, but he dodged the stun, actually. One was thrown out of him.
All right, so he stays safe for himself. Pink ward, once again playing Ducks there, but they have no left in their inventory, meaning once this gets swept out by JWoww, PD have to recall multiple members to get pink ward control back.
Prothana has no teleport, and he's going for this bottom wave. The Gamers 2 are going to respond by pushing the mid lane, because they don't have any turrets there. There's actually more cards in playing Duck's hand right now, because if they give up the Baron, they can still rush an inhibitor if they don't want to face check. They can force a fight somewhere in the mid lane.
Yeah, mid lane minions actually are one of the most valuable resources of G2 right here. They've got to really make sure the wave stays on the other side of the map. Top lane's actually not doing that for them. Again, that is one of the few outer turrets that still remain on the map, or tier 2 turrets that remain on the map. Shantou did eventually take the outer, but tier 2s are a resource, and mid lane gets shoved out once more by playing Ducks. Now we're actually within 1,000 gold. Prothana going to the bot lane helped bridge some of that gold gap. Mikhail's Crucible done soon for Rydal. Doesn't actually mean a ton, though. The hooks haven't been really causing major fights.
Dragons up. Gamers 2 have it in their sights. They're looking for it. They have decent ward control of the Baron. Playing Ducks has a little bit of an advantage in that, but nobody's there to clear it.
Oh, this is weird. Shantou rushed a Banshee's Veil. He's on 2 items with a Banshee's, which means he cannot kill JWoww. He actually doesn't even do good damage to Morden either. I don't know. I mean, he bought a Vamp Scepter early on, so like he was behind in damage. Now he bought a Banshee's even farther behind in damage. Like, this is really about Avenue and Prothana now. Shantou is not a very powerful champion at this point in time, which means you really, really have to play well if you're Avenue here. He does have the Death Cap. Void Staff is next.
Yeah, there's a lot of targets he can't really shred through without a Last Whisper. He's not going to be able to get through JWoww very effectively. Morden is stacking some armor now with the Glacial Shroud. And it's just going to get worse for him. And he's pretty much locked into that build. He'll end up getting the Last Whisper, and then he'll be like, do I get Blazeward King? He's got one more on top of it.
2 Banshee's Belt gone. Satane stays safe, binding on a Saze. JWoww doesn't want to ult that. He could have. I feel like he could have really gone for that right there. Doesn't want to. Eve Flank gets 4! They're going to go for the fight. Satane Exhaust takes the first one there. Shark comes out as well. Satane is going to go down 1 for 0 so far. 2-man stun out from Ocelot. They're going to keep moving forward. Zhonya's popped by Avenue, keeps himself safe. Ocelot pops Zhonya's as well. Prothana in the middle of the fight, taking so much damage from Kog'Maw. Yuki positioned so well, but here comes Fizz. He can't claim the kill. Yuki picks him down. Prothana forced to run. No slow comes out quite from Rydal, but the ultis in from Yuki will claim this one. Lantern is going to be enough. Beautiful play there.
Now they're going to go straight for this Baron here, or the mid lane from Gamers 2. A lot of options, the Smite off the field, but it looks like it might be.
I think they're injured enough they can't Baron.
JWoww is pretty healthy, though, and they have a Kog'Maw.
Okay, there's a bit of a risk there just because there is a 3-man team. Prothana can teleport, and there's the ward right there. So this is a very real possibility of contest here if Playing Ducks plays it right. There's the TP.
Gamers 2 aren't collapsing onto it just yet. A lot of pink wards in the pit.
Yuki is the one facing Aurelia. JWoww pushes back Shantou.
They're trying to discourage it. They're trying
They can't do it now.
Yep.
Oh, they can kill Shantou. Oh, nice. Ooh. Nice, nice, nice. That was a really good Lantern.
Dodge the belly. Right out of the way.
Prothana's looking for a pick, though. They might keep going. Yuki's forced to recall. This is a 4v4. Here comes Satane. This could be really bad.
Oh
my god, JWoww! That was so good!
That was such a great backwards barrel into the belly. The body slam.
Well, you deserve that little serenade there for your... Is that an accordion that plays?
Yes, it sounded like an accordion to me.
Okay.
It was his happy hour dance.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be happy the entire game when I did that. That was big. This actually gives them a lot of control right now. Playing Ducks, though, because the recalls do get time to sweep wards, this is good. This is the only chance they get to get Baron control back because their AD carry's dead for half a minute.
He doesn't really get any meaningful items off of it either. He just dies and kind of sits there. See, he was having trouble even shredding through JWoww.
Yeah.
At this point, who has the Zhonyas, has the Iceborne Gauntlet, and all of that armor stacked on. It's very difficult to get through that large Gragas.
He's gonna be happy to tank culling shots the entire time.
Yeah.
Like,
there we go. He gets himself.
I like seeing upsets, but
a pickaxe.
Okay, he's going. I enjoy upsets. Like they're very fun. And so I'm like, oh, Playing Ducks, you guys could have had this. And maybe they still do. It's a 4,000 gold game. It's not too bad.
It's a best of 3, too.
It is a best of 3 as well. But
and they're looking a lot better now than they did in their previous matches versus Gamers 2. Remember, they only had 6 kills over 2 games.
Yeah, that's true.
Versus Gamers 2 previously. They've already beaten that.
That's true.
So they're doing better.
Game's not even over.
Yeah. Evelyn looking for
80 minutes.
Evelyn's looking for another flank right now. His flanks have been good. Yes. It's just the follow-up and the target prioritization that has been a little lacking. Avenue, their main source of damage, Can he get on the right people?
Against G2, they don't realize that Baron's revealed. Prothana,
Whoa.
he has no reason to be there. He knows they're all waiting for him right there. Nice knockback, they catch him out. And down goes Prothana. Why were you in front of that brush, though?
He stood there for a second. The binding just locked onto him. His feet locked, too. He didn't know what to do with himself. It's fight or flight, or just sit there like a deer in the headlights, and that's the one he chose.
He's a vertical takeoff and landing champion, so his flight was to go straight up in the air and die.
Exactly.
I don't know. Hook, could have been on a mortar, doesn't quite land though. This is going to be at least the inhibitor turret. I don't see Gamers 2 getting pushed back. Satan gets stunned up. They don't go for the commit on this one though. Gordon gets a couple attacks down. They're very close to killing this turret off.
They have to go for it now.
They're going to go ahead and get the damage down. Yuki claims that. Shark hits JWoww on the side of the head. Avenue's got to be careful though. Gets the artillery, has to jump away. Satan is not in a good spot anymore. Shields come down, stun's not going to land, but Yuki has the damage. Fireworks come down, picking up the jungler now. With the inhibitor going down, G2 could turn back for Baron.
G2 have a lot of options. They have a bottom wave pushing up too. They might just go for 2 inhibitor turrets.
Okay, yeah, the play is to push to try to end the game or really just have so much map pressure they can't possibly lose without doing something really dumb. And they are going to look for this turret right here. Prothana's respawn, 30 seconds on the Evelynn. 5v4 one more time. Stun hits Avenue. They are pretty healthy. A little bit more harass comes down. Hook onto Onslaught. This is not good for him. Takes a bunch of healing, but he goes down. That hook was massive.
That hook was right on point. That's going to put them a little bit back in the game. Granted, now they have to deal with super minions for a while. There is a huge wave top, though. It's being pinged, and this one would take that turret by itself.
But playing Ducks are going to get themselves a Baron off of this. Dragon's up at 20 seconds. G2 can't stay for it. Satan's back alive. He bought home guard boots just to be sure, and they're going to rush towards Baron. This is probably the 3 members you really want to fight against a Baron team.
It's a huge wave.
Oh, this is nice.
Just took a turret for...
They're going to split push bottom. No, they're going to do as much time as they can with the safest member of Morgana. And Prothana's going to have to recall defend 1v2. He's going to get his recall stop. There's going to be a Torrent of Soil to stop his recall. There it is. And it's going to be an inhibitor for G2.
He has no TP either. They're going to go after Rydal.
He'll die. Good exhaust. Good flash.
Oh,
okay, you got him anyway.
Flash out of Avenue, though.
But there we go. That's Baron for a bottom inhibitor plus the turret. Satan and Shantou force to duo this, and they're going to actually pull someone back in. But you've got another sort of situation where you've got another 4-on-5. The support is dead. You've got Baron buff. There's a pretty real chance to push as playing Ducks.
And Joe was saying it in one of those last games that when you lose 2 inhibitors, statistically, your chances of coming back are very, very low. It's a tough situation to be in. Granted, they got the Baron, but you just stall until it's back up.
Yeah. And G2, look at that. Yeah, so JWoww and Yuki, they push bottom against Baron. Perfect play right there. They took the Dragon on the way back. Also a great choice. This actually keeps Gamers 2 up 5,000 gold. To me, I think the playing Ducks play here is you defend. You're down 2 inhibs. You make 1 misplay, the game ends for you. You know G2 won't really try to fight you against Baron buff. They know the game is fairly close, and they've had some bad engages before. You're likely able to just defend these 2 waves, get a level lead, and get a gold lead. Like Sazed and Satan specifically should be sharing XP on these waves and getting to level 18. Prothana has no more levels to gain. Avenue has no more levels to gain. They have very few items to buy as well, at least in the case of Avenue. Get those guys to 16. Get them the tank stats from leveling up. And it's going to be a much better situation then for the playing Ducks front line. Wait out the inhibitor respawns. Be closer in gold when that's all said and done. And then get ready to push.
It is going to be very difficult for them, though, because the top lane is what's going to be pressured now from Gamers 2. And I like the playing Ducks aren't actually overextending out of their base. Because, man, have Gamers 2 been making picks to get back into this game. They've been using JWoww and that Gragas to full potential this game.
Well, look at this. They are really trying to make these flank plays happen. G2 actually want to press the issue. If they can get a pick, they end the game.
Oh, flank from Satan. He's looking for a play.
You know, I actually like this from G2. They're looking for plays so heavily on the G2 side because even though you lose a fight, you lose a bunch of gold. You win a fight, you gain a bunch of gold. If they win a fight, they win the game. If they lose a fight, PD can't pick anything up against the dead inhibitors that they have. So it's a pretty low-risk play, even if they face a Baron buff, because there's nothing of substantial value that can be lost.
I think the most damage that they could do is they could run straight up the mid lane and get that inhib.
They could probably get that. Yeah, and actually the inhibs are coming back right now. So mid inhib is, this is the last big wave. I think just got cleared in the mid lane. So it's back to equal in the mid lane here. This inhib's back now. Bottom lane is going to come back around the time Baron despawns, a little bit before. Maybe like 1 or 2 waves left. That means there's no Baron buff time with equal map position.
And JWoww's farm this game, highest in the game, and his participation in these fights, also the highest in this game. He's
11 of 12.
Yep, he's been doing work all series long.
Here we go. 47 minutes in, Gamers 2 look for the top lane, which actually has a turret, so it's an interesting choice for them. Prothana clears out the drags in the mid lane. Bot lane, there is a minion wave coming in that's got to require a little bit of attention.
You have to clear that last couple of waves.
If there's a super, you have to clear it. If there's not a super, it's okay. I think it would hold. They are sieging top lane. Now Kog'Maw can play the slow and steady race. They've got the Mikhail's Crucible up and a black shield from Morgana, so he's pretty much unhookable. And he could slowly work these things down. Interesting thing for Prothana is he's entirely magic resist based. He is not worried about Yuki's Infinity Edge, Ruin King, Last Whisper damage.
Just worried about getting blown up. Damage versus JWoww. No real split pushes this game. Everybody's just been grouping up.
Okay, it's the last wave.
And that's it. All inhibitors respawned. Baron on for just a couple more seconds. And then he'll be gone pretty much even despite the 5k gold. That's the only difference here between these two teams. Some late game pressure. Can JWoww get another awesome explosive cast? Or is there going to be one of those miracle hooks from Sazed?
Shantou kept his Banshee's Veil up. He just barely got out of the range of that barrel, walking forward. Sazed is around looks for the hook. Doesn't land it. Flank attempt from Evelynn. I do not see if there's a pink ward in front of her. Looks like that's not the case, though. So she has gotten in to the back line just a little bit.
Oh, Morden's going to walk straight up.
Say no.
No.
You're going to sweep that ward away.
Gets him out of there. There's a lot of pick potential from Gamers 2. They also love to team fight off the back of JWoww's explosive cast. Now playing Ducks, they have to wait for a hook. They have to wait for Gamers 2 to miss position or the flank. Evelynn has now swapped sides. Satane, as soon as they push up, he's going to flank around.
He's looking for actually.
Oh, he got seen.
Spotted out. He's got to run away. Morden is there. Oh, this is not good. Cocoon. It's going to not quite hit him, and he gets the lantern out. PD stays safe for now, but the hook is going to land. The stun, rather. Satane loses about a third of his health. Actually went Sword Shoes on Evelynn. Interesting. So, a bit of a more aggressive build. He's taking actually more damage than he would normally. A hook's going to come out. Not quite land there.
I think the big part of the Sork Shoes is he doesn't have tenacity versus all of these stuns he gets.
Going to make his life difficult. Will they look for this fight? Playing Ducks. The wave is pushing out on the bottom side towards G2. Top lane holding equal. Mid lane, of course, they're all just fighting, so who cares about those minions? Hook, not quite again. Black shields, though, have been pretty good from Rydell. Stun comes up for Ocelot, nothing of value gained here. Sazed wants to puts the shield down and flashes in. There comes the fight, and Satane in the back lines gets out after baiting Ocelot's ultimate. Now Yuki has almost nowhere to go, taking more and more damage. Zonya's popped by Avenue. He's going to run away in this one. Does not get bound or stunned, but JWoww does get caught out. He was the only guy left in the front line. Playing Ducks finally find the kill. Prothana's not done. Okay, now he is.
Or is he? He's got a lot of movement speed.
He's not done.
He's got a lot of movement speed.
He wants Rydell.
Up.
He's done.
No, he's done. He's a little tired. A lot of running.
Yep.
A lot of heartbeats that are heavy right now, because oh my lord, it's a tense game. Next fight, you could pretty much just win off the back of it 50 minutes in.
Oh my gosh, and they're now in. Of course, this inhibitor is dead, and a minion wave's coming as well. A big fight win. And again, 5v4 for 40 seconds. This has got to be an inhibitor. Ooh, you got to be careful if you're the AD carry. Dashes back, stays safe. Mikhail's Crucible is down. If someone gets caught, they're going to die. Inhibitor down to 1/3 health. Satane's still around. Ulti's coming up soon. The Shark, 20 seconds. The Eve ulti, 15. Shantou gets Cocoon. He does flash back, but the bind hits as well. Yuki gonna get some damage into this one. He doesn't commit though. I think his W was down. He could have killed the AD carry.
Doesn't completely go after it. JWoww, if they keep chasing this, he actually has TP.
They're flanking with Satane. This is a 10 seconds. They could go for this. They could go for this right now. 5v4 flank and you kill them all. Too low on health, though. They don't want to go with Avenue this hurt.
Ooh.
And Sazed at no HP.
Baron up right now, though, and Gamers 2 have that advantage. They're going to lose the bottom turret. But Look at that. JWoww, he has
going back down mid.
Oh, he's going to actually just defend this.
He can't. Like, they could just go really hard right now. They don't know. Thing is, they don't know that Jishu's on Baron or maybe flanking them. If PD loses this fight, game's over. 100% is gone. They can't wait out a Baron bomb. They'll take Dragon knowing that no one's around this side of the map. That's a safe play by PD. But they were too afraid of G2 trapping them to play for mid.
And it was a smart play because they couldn't make that play. Because Baron would have been down, and the health bars for Gamers 2 were much higher than playing Duck. Saves
you have to get
out of the fight.
You can box and run, and maybe you get lucky. I mean, it is, I would say, probably 60% that play goes fine. But that 60% is like your upside is you got an inhibitor, your downside is you lose the game.
Yeah.
It's not a play you make.
Little cost-benefit analysis there.
Yeah.
Your contingencies.
Your chance of success is higher, but the value of success is much lower than the value of... You know what I'm going for. We're done. Moving on. Game theory, decision trees. Let's go.
Medium risk.
Low reward.
Low reward.
Yeah, high risk, low reward.
There you go.
Don't like those plays. Unless you're LMQ.
I mean, so you said the percentage of success was actually like a little high. It was like medium.
Yeah.
So is that medium risk, low reward, terrible repercussions?
I think it is still like... I think
or does that factor into risk?
I feel like the chance of success is factored into the value of defeat.
Okay.
As the like risk status. Right? Like
okay.
Really pretty high chance of something horrible happens to you. The reward's not really all that high. I feel like the chance is a modifier in the first place, you know?
Okay.
Now I could be wrong because actual
I'm actually a little curious.
Okay, so I'm gonna first say, with the number of people watching this stream, a certain percentage of you guys know game theory really well and will tell me the correct answer in this one. But in my opinion, blindly without realizing this, without just otherwise taking econ courses in college, just multiply the chance of success by the actual value of what happens, and that's the risk-reward spectrum. 60% chance for like a 2, and a 40% chance for like a -50.
But what is chance factored into? Is that the risk, or is that
you multiply both?
Okay, both. Okay.
Yeah. Right? High risk, high reward means we lose the game or win the game.
Yeah.
High risk, low reward means we lose the game or we get an inhibitor.
But then there's the chance of success factored
which is already factored in.
Okay.
That's part
all right.
of it.
Get back into the game where everybody's got everything on the line.
High risk, high reward game. Let's go. Woo. Game 1 of the BO3, 54 minutes in. It took us a longer time than most things talk about.
Well, everybody's pushing up the mid lane.
Yeah.
No, nothing was happening. Now the flank is happening, whereas there's this huge monster wave actually in the top lane for Gamers 2.
Oh man, yeah.
Playing Ducks might get a turret off of that.
You could go hard and Prothonic could TP that, but that would be also very risky. But it would be a high reward.
What's the chance of success?
Actually decent. Like, yeah, that's a respectable play, to be honest. But they're not going to go for that one right here. Ocelot, Rydell trying to find the poke, trying to find the CC. They're going to go for this one. Saves walks in. Evelyn's there to flank. He can reach Yuki. He can smell him.
As soon as the black shield is down, they might go for it.
It's down. Ooh. A lot of Banshees, though, is the
thing.
If
that hook had landed on Ocelot.
They need to use Aurelion to break Banshees, and then they can go into Evelyn. Hit
right,
Rydell. Here they go. Box comes down. They hit 3 with the ulti. Yuki gets exhausted. There comes the Shark as well. Finds JWoww, but he is a tanky man. In they go, and it's Kog'Maw who does get caught out. Mikhail's come through. Prothana still alive. Zonia's popped by JWoww. Avenue staying alive as well. Hook's not going to land, but they're going to find 2 kills. That's one. Right now, Prothana could recall TP top, and they could probably close the game.
And now they're going to at least get this middle inhibitor off of this fight. They just beat a Baroned up Gamers 2 2-for-0. Huge part of that fight, Avenue got exhausted before he blew his damage.
Wow.
Able to blow up Yuki on the backside of it.
This is big. Gamers 2 trying to hold on to the base now, but you've got 45 seconds of no AD carry. This is the makings of a game-winning push for playing Ducks. If they don't go for this, they're too shell-shocked by how close this game is to think clearly, because this is the absolute makings of a game-winning push. Here's a TP in for Aurelia. Here they go.
Ooh, dodges the binding. Skills.
I think they should have gone top though and just taken the 2 inhibs 100% and
right
then seized the game.
They'll get this inhib and they can face tank that turret. It's so low that they would just be able to walk up. A Lich Bane can kill it.
15 seconds on Kog'Maw.
Or are they even going to go for it?
Inhib goes down.
And just try to end the game.
They can't get Nexus in time. They have to go inhib.
Yeah. Face tank. Just breathe on it a little heavily and boom, it's gone.
5 seconds on Kog'Maw. He has flash. Satane's still buying a lot of time. Look how many skill shots he's tanking. He's saying, hey, hit me. I'm Evelyn. And leaves the rest of the team safe. So there you go. 2 inhibs now playing Duck's way. 56 minutes in.
Both teams have lost 2 inhibs. One of them's going to lose the game. Losing 2 inhibs makes you lose the game. Boom.
Yep. Statistical anomaly. Spoiler alert, it's actually a draw.
Yeah.
Neither team wins. Go to a 4-game series.
Ah.
Is that like reverse jinxing it?
I don't know.
Is that even a thing?
I don't know. Maybe we'll just get an 80-minute game and it counts as 2.
It counts as 2. It'll be it'll be the only one game 2-0.
We're just like, whoever wins this game, you get 2 points.
Let's be real. These are 2 very
and
close
the flank
teams.
coming in,
Ocelot gotta be real careful. Taking a lot of damage. Zonia's pop. Yuki is well positioned in the back line, but here goes Prothana and Avenue. He flashes the way. He stays safe. JWoww makes room for the team, but Ocelot has already died, and this could be the push down to the mid lane. Morden's gonna flash away. Prothana almost in range though.
Yeah, I don't know if his Blade Surge actually killed the minion.
Short enough cooldown, he have it back by now, but he can't die. But here comes the super minions. Ocelot is dead for 57 seconds playing Ducks.
They're gonna try to tank bottom? The wave is not even close by the time that they actually get the turret there.
Wow.
Ocelot will have a couple seconds back on his respawn.
No, you send Prothana top and push the wave down. You ride double super minions into the base. They're gonna recall back, and they're gonna play for Dragon and Baron ward control.
Dragon in 20 seconds. Baron in 1 minute and 10, and the ward's very, very scarce on the map right now. Pretty much non-existent for either side. You just have some stray pink wards, and then all those wards in the mid lane for playing Ducks.
Wow.
Nothing in the jungle. Everybody's blind.
I do like that ward coverage though by PD out on the mid line. You can easily watch if Gamers do makes any plays. You can look for your flanks. I really do like in-lane wards. It's one thing that doesn't happen much in solo queue. It happens a lot in competitive. Wards just in the middle of a lane. Because once the turrets go down, once the minion waves are so sparse, you actually need that vision back. It's a very high traffic area.
Especially in mid lane, if you put one during the laning phase in front of tier 1 turret, just out of turret range so they can't see it. You see if the person ever roams and what side they roam to. It's a very, very useful ward. You don't see the incoming ganks, but if they're a roam heavy champion, definitely worth it. But now, playing to the side of the map that has the Baron, they're getting the ward control here from playing Ducks because there's so much pressure from the super minions. Can't push out of your bases, Gamers, too. You'd get picked off.
Yep, and they know nothing's going to happen here. So this is Baron now going to playing Ducks. Now, when G2 had Baron, they did lose the team fight, but I just feel like PD, they've just gotten into the back line better. The Aurelia, Fizz, and Evelynn just keep finding ways to reach Kog'Maw or reach the Syndra and get rid of them in the battles. Don't have enough pink wards watching flanks from G2, or enough just go in and crush the front line to start the fight anyway and ignore flanks.
I'm thinking about these fights, and JWoww, huge part of the fights for Gamers too. Satane's flanks, huge part of the fights for playing Ducks.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 things that are going to be game-winning. Just if they happen, conditions, the fight will most likely go that team's way. If there's a good follow-up on Satane's flank, or if JWoww is able to isolate somebody, get targets off of his squishies, they can capitalize very heavily.
So the inhibitor's coming back up really soon. They're playing for this turret, but there's so much wave clear on Kog Syndra. And there's not a big enough armor tank to just dive the turret and ignore that defensive structure here. So, one Banshee's Veil gone. There's so many Banshees on G2, it's hard for them to make their way in.
Chantal went for the Bloodthirster a while ago.
Yeah.
Instead of Rune King. Rune King.
I like it. I actually really like
the Bursty.
Yeah, if you're not going in for first item, like Rune King first item, I actually like BT over Rune King. Even though it's a significant damage loss, the proc is just so valuable. This shield is just incredible.
Yeah, it's a better late game item. If you're going a defensive item, it's kind of the mixture.
Yeah. Okay, both inhibs looks like they're going to be back up right now.
All waves pushing and playing Duck's favor right now.
Thing is, I feel like they can use Avenue as a split push. He's pretty safe.
Satane.
He goes to the flank.
He's looking for the flank. There's no turret here.
Not enough pink wards. Stuck for Chantal.
Yuki, they want to
Hook hits Morden. This could be the fight. They're going to go in for the Elise. Here comes Satane. He finds Yuki, gets the 2-man ulti on Ocelot as well. And they're going to chase on down. Shark comes in, finds JWoww every single time. He pops Zonia. Satane loses a lot of health.
The hook on Yuki.
They hook Yuki. Black Shield comes in, but he stays safe. He backs on out. He met his arm. That's not going to be too bad for them. Morgana ulti going to catch Avenue.
Oh, he gets stuck.
Flashes
Avenue
out. Tries to run. Can't get away from that one. Kill picked up. But can they chase down anyway? The repel comes in from Elise. Sazed is around. Morden. He's going to stay safe. Inhibitors, though, can they die? It's a 5-on-4. PD has to be careful. Stun comes out, and here comes Yuki again. Satane will die for this one. Ulti comes down. 2 more kills picked up. Now Prothana's got nowhere to go, and maybe Gamers 2 can make their way in. The Aurelia is trying to leave. She's so tanky, there's no point to chase her out. But 3 kills And now all the room in the world to make up.
The call is to push the lane. There's a minute respawn on Satane and Shantou. Prothana, he's going to have to try and deal with JWoww. JWoww's going to stop his back, and I don't know if he can actually win this
he
duel.
wants to try to push and try to create pressure. He wants G2 to have to back up. They can't 2v5 this. He needs to make this push happen. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Recall in from Thresh right now. Sazed, that mini push won't mean much. Here's G2 looking to close the game.
And they have a lot of damage with Yuki. The attack speed, Infinity Edge.
Seconds.
The
Can they kill it in time? Hook misses. They have to back up till they have the minion waves. 14 seconds on Fizz. He could be enough to keep them safe. They go in for the turret one more time. Morden actually quite low on health. Prothana does not have ulti to break Banshee's Veil just yet. And the other go for turret number 2. He's going in for Yuki, but Black Shield is on. They go down for the Nexus. Here comes Fizz. Can they kill them in time? Looks like it will be Gamers 2. 62 minutes in. They finally find the fight to close the game out. And that is just game 1 of maybe 3.
An over-hour game there. Huge performance from both teams. Playing Ducks looked a lot better than they did in the previous matchup versus Gamers 2. And Gamers 2 eventually just won a team fight that was very, very long. Those team fights are very mentally taxing because you're constantly swapping targets. You're constantly panicking about, did I finish that guy? Can he get back into the fight? Was it worth my ultimate? Was it worth my ability on that player because he was close enough? And it was just this huge back and forth. And both teams played it really well. And then it was just the re-engage from Gamers 2 because the fight was so long that they came out on top.
And that's when you fight in your base, right? You heal back up. They got Yuki really, really low, but he just walked back into the fight afterwards. And it was a really well-played game. And you know, that's the thing is they tried over and over and over again to play a 5-on-5 team fight, playing Ducks. They won a lot of them on defense when they had the ability to chase people down afterwards when there was nowhere to run when Evelynn and Aurelia got onto you. But trying to get flanked inside the base, you run back to the Nexus turrets, you run back to the Fountain, you heal back up and show up again. And suddenly that's a much more difficult situation. Playing Ducks, I really feel like they needed to play the old NIP style. You've got a late game Fizz. No one in that game could handle him, could handle Avenue in a one-on-one. Nobody. There is a 100% chance he wins that fight. If he goes just himself bottom lane, the rest of the team plays safe and looks for the engage, because there's no good hard engage for Gamers 2, by the way. Morgana binds, Elise Cocoon's like, there's stuns, but like, it's not a Malphite, it's not a Nautilus.
It's all combination stuns, too, on a single person.
Sure.
I mean, you can hit multiple people with the Syndra, but Morgana Elise combo was just, we have to single out one person.
Right. That's the thing. You've got Mikhail's Crucible, and you've got Thresh. Just have him sit far back. Have Sazed sit back at 800 range and be like, if you get stun, I'll lantern you. And I'll Mikhail's you and you'll get out. And you just play the split push Fizz. Like that could have closed the game out. I think they focused a little bit too hard on going for 5v5s, and they could have won the game with the elements they had. I mean, either way though, hour and 2 minutes, both teams obviously played their hearts out very, very well. The double exhaust I thought was great to try to hamper Fizz in team fights. That went well. And to be fair, G2 earned it.
Everybody pretty much got the same structures. They both had 2 inhibs down. They kept trading Barons. And it wasn't even just the team fighting. Like, I'm looking at these score lines right now. 15, 16, and then 41 assists for Gamers 2. Playing Ducks, 16, 15, and 41 assists for them. Both teams were team fighting out of their mind. Now, the question is, should you have been team fighting 5v5 in the first place, and should you have been split pushing instead? We saw there that JWoww was actually able to take on Prothana in the end, a split push. So maybe you're right about the Fizz, but man, that was a fantastic game from both sides. And playing Ducks, despite losing that one game, it's a best of 3, but they can hold their heads high because they did a much better job than they did previously.
Yeah, but if they want to make sure that they actually make it to the postseason, they've got to win this series, so we'll see if they can do it. Guys, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to see if Playing Ducks can even the series against Gamers 2 and keep their playoff hopes alive. Don't go anywhere. No health. Rydell goes in. Can he find the kill with the exhaust? Looks like the case is yes. He goes down. Now Satan in the backside's got nowhere to go as well. 2 kills picked up. He's got to be real careful. He gets out of that fight as well. But now in comes Avenue. Big damage. Looks for Rydell. Will get that kill. His Zonius is still available. And this is a complete whitewash there. Everybody on G2 is going down. Yuki's forced to recall. This is a 4v4. Here comes Satan. This could be really bad. Oh my god, JWoww! That was so good! In they go, and it's Kog'Maw who does get caught out. Mikhail's come through, Prothana still alive. Zonia's popped by JWoww. Avenue staying alive as well. Hook's not going to land, but they're going to find 2 kills. That's one. He pops Zonia. Satan loses a lot of health.
The hook on Yuki.
They hook Yuki. Black Shield comes in, but he stays safe. He backs on out. He met his arm. That's not going to be too bad for them. Morgana ulti going to catch Avenue.
He gets stunned.
Avenue out. Tries to run. Can't get away from that one. Kill picked up.